bright young faces, eager and keen to learn, experiment and reimagine the world. Nurtured and molded by able, capable and passionate teachers are the pillars of the country and leaders of the future. And education is the one game changer that sets the pace of life for each one of the billion and counting Indians. For a country that has given the world inspiring legacies of Aryabhat, Sushruta, Hargobind Singh Khurana, Srinivasa Ramanujan and Rabindranath Tagore, to name just a few, India's rich legacy in education is its one big triumph.
Someone said, you solve the education problem, you solve every other problem. In my view, the space that is the most critical to actually the nation's development. And really, if you look at the whole demographic issue in India, with 54% of our population being less than 25 years of age, the fact that we are urbanizing extremely rapidly, we need to make sure that our human capital is to international standards. And it is in a knowledge economy, it is the human capital that takes you forward at a pace that the industrial economy or the agricultural economy cannot take you there. So it was quite obvious that if we had to choose one area where we make a massive impact on India and India's role in the 21st century, that's got to be education.
With 50% of India's population below the age of 25 years, and within that, most youngsters in the age group of 18 to 23 years, the demand for affordable, accessible and quality education has never been higher in India. And that's the reason why the education sector needs to be on a path of continuous and groundbreaking reforms to address the ever-changing needs of students.
Today's kids are, I call them three-screen kids. They are brought up from the moment they are born to look at three screens. They look at the television screen in their homes all the time, they look at the cell phone screen and they look at the computer screen. Now the brain is wired in a different way for today's young generation. They respond to audio-visual stimuli. When I went to school, we had a blackboard, we had chalk and talk. The teacher would turn the back upon the students and spend 15 minutes drawing a diagram of a cell. For today's kids, we need to bring that rich experience of what is going around the world in true multimedia inside the classroom if we have to engage them. The second most important thing is that a lot of education that we do today is very abstract. For example, we study about atoms and molecules, all of math. We need to use imagination to do that. And what best way to bring imagination and creativity into the classroom for students to actually see what is happening. So when we talk about a volcano, we talk about a germination of a seed, we talk about photosynthesis, let them see inside the classroom what is actually going on. And that in their mind sparks off that interest in learning. And once you've got the student hooked to interest in learning, I think you've solved the biggest problem in education. Then the child is capable of learning on their own.
Look at the teams. What kind of cake is it? Let's find out.
I think hardly in our country we really recognize educators. Okay, if you look at any one platform, there is nothing much. There could be one best principal of the year where you get it from the government, but not really, you know. You recognize a lot of talent today. Okay, you like the best dancers and musicians, and India's got talent and everything, but nobody really acknowledges the talent of being an educator. And I think that is what this platform will do, will bring that value to the educators of that whole piece, the gratitude that the society should display towards them for creating a society of today, okay, and for working hard every day. I mean, what will motivate an educator to go back and keep giving their 100% is not only the marks that just come in, it's not only few children who remember them on Facebook, but really the power that the society really acknowledges and appreciates what they have brought to the table.
For a company that believes that quality education is the blueprint of a child's future, Educomp is a one-of-its-kind pioneer in India's education sector. It boasts of being the largest education company in India and the only one to be spread across the entire education ecosystem in India.
society around us is changing. If the world wasn't changing, the education system doesn't need to change. But the world is changing at a pace it has never before changed at that speed in human civilization. Innovation cycles used to be first 10 years long, then 1 year long. Today innovation cycles are 1 month long. So we have to change the education system to respond to the need of the society. Because what is the job of a school? Once the child goes out of school, he or she must be able to navigate the world around them. And to the extent the world is changing, we need to keep reinventing ourselves all the time.
Right. Now let me see that what we are
Basically, environment, societies and times are not constant. So if they are dynamic and changing, education has to help the child either adapt to the existing situation or try and change the existing situation. So if that situation is constantly dynamic, education cannot afford to be static. And with the coming in of technology, I think the need to learn and just acquire knowledge has been taken care of. With a switch of a button, or you can get anything that you want from any site in terms of information. So what we need today is different from maybe what we needed 100 years ago. So therefore education has to evolve with changing times.
Educomp, that goes by the mantra from schools to skills, was founded in the year 1994. Since then, the company's dedicated team has empowered over 30 million learners and educators across over 65,000 schools to imagine, think and reinvent a better future with education. And is one of the country's leading providers of technology-enabled solutions for a more engaging, interactive and participative approach to learning.
I would like to look at our products in a very simple way. So there are two buckets of product that I want to talk about. The first one is bring the real experience of education inside the classroom, and that is our whole Smart Class range of products. If you look at the latest variation, Smart Class Pro, the teacher walks into the classroom using a tablet. She actually uses her fingers to draw on the tablet, and the children can see that on a screen in front of them. The tablet is 4G enabled, so the teacher can bring all of the internet resources inside the classroom while the students are learning. So a very vital component of research is also brought inside the classroom. Not only that, look at the convenience. Earlier, teachers used to give homework, as kids used to note that down in their diaries and take them home. The teacher can give the homework directly from her tablet, and every parent can get a notification on their cell phones right here that, hey, this is the homework that has been given for my child. Assessment is computerized. So it's a very holistic approach to learning. So no matter a student is at home, talking to friends or inside the school, you are always connected on a seamless educational ecosystem.
Children have various senses, children have different perceptions, and today we do recognize that multiple intelligences play a very important part in the child's process of growing and learning. So computer-aided learning has brought in a tremendous gamut of opportunities available for the teaching learning process. A child can visualize, a child can see, a child can perceive. Three-dimensional systems have now brought in a very different perception to education.
With its evolving range of multimedia learning modules, Educomp is raising the pace and scale of reforms and change in the education sector.
The biggest usage of our internet products, they are coming from the smallest towns. I think it is linked not so much to your pocket and the amount of money in your wallet, it is linked to your aspiration and your ambition. Today we find that in big cities like Delhi, Bombay, Chennai, Hyderabad, children coming from very well off and affluent families, their dedication towards education, may not be as high as a student coming from a village or a very small town who knows that education is the only path for me to succeed in life. They are the ones who use technology as a level playing field. The child in class 3 has the same dream and ambition as a child who is going to a big school in Delhi. Now, how do we bridge this gap? The technology is the way to bridge the gap. because if he is online, he is using the Educomp smart class system, his education will be exactly the same as the student in a big city, and they spend much more time and they get the best benefit out of it than the people in the big cities. And it's very affordable. See, the reason we have kept the cost low, so we can reach out to everyone in the country.
With the aim of making education in India more innovative, competent and dynamic, one of the pioneers in the field of education, Educomp realized the need for recognizing and felicitating educationalists and champions who've contributed significantly to raising the standard of education in the country. The Educomp India Today Educational Excellence Awards will be a platform to acknowledge the efforts of schools which have led by example, principals who championed excellence, and teachers who are visionaries and role models.
As a community, educators are not really rewarded, and educators are not asking for a financial reward. If they wanted a financial reward, they would not be in education. Teachers work from their heart, they work with passion. But it is time as a nation that we recognize their achievement. So these awards are just a step in that direction. We want to reach out and recognize the teachers who have made exemplary commitment. The teachers have the power to change lives. If I look back upon my own life, I can definitely point, these are the few people, my teachers, who had such a positive impact on me. But it's a forgotten community. So one reason is we want to do that. The second thing is we want to make sure that other people in India know what is the innovative work that has been done by these principals or these teachers, so that best practices can spread. So I think the bigger mission is to spread that inspiration about
A one-of-its-kind platform to celebrate, recognize and felicitate icons in the education sector in India. The Educomp India Today Educational Excellence Awards, a joint initiative by Educomp Solutions and the India Today Group, is a tribute to those stalwarts who've dreamed the impossible, conquered the limits and set standards of quality and academic excellence.
We hardly go back and actually felicitate and acknowledge and appreciate the efforts of the people who really shape the society every day. At the end of the day, any country is as good as its education system, and it is actually there where the foundation and the future of the country is built. And that was the rationale where we believe that as a leader in the education industry, we should definitely take a step ahead and institute a set of awards where we acknowledge exceptional efforts that happen 24/7 across the country by these brilliant educators and by principals to enable, the learners of tomorrow, the real superstars of tomorrow, which we really see in all facets of the industry. So why not let's go down over there and really acknowledge and appreciate and be grateful, and celebrate the effort done by some of the exceptional work done by the teachers.
With entries from across India in two main categories of Best Principal and Best Teacher, and 24 total subcategories such as innovation in teaching curriculum, effective use of online tools for teaching, use of social media, amongst many others. This is a countrywide mission for rewarding excellence in education and educators who have laid a benchmark in their field.
We are felicitating principals and we are felicitating educators essentially. When you look at, let's take educators first. So obviously the idea was we would like to give educators the award in their subject stream. So the best educator for mathematics, for science, for social science, languages, and every possible stream that you can look at. And then we looked at, what are the other pieces? For example, best use of technology inside classroom, that is now given in any good classroom, any school that you really go to, that are they using technology well enough and so on. Then we looked at counseling, that are we really counseling well our children, as she helped the children to grow well, etc. Then we have awards, for example, for sports, How much really do we take it seriously when we are in school that a sports teacher is also an important piece of the picture? Or is our music teacher equally important to a mathematics teacher? most of us shape the way of all the interactions that happen to us. So we are felicitating people in the co-curricular field, we are felicitating people in the physical education piece, we're looking at exceptional efforts in innovative learning tools. Technology is one piece, but there are so many different ways in which teachers can make pedagogy completely interesting. So that is what we are looking at felicitating. So the idea is that if there is a fantastic work happening in the country, we would love to acknowledge it and put it on a pedestal.
There will be two main categories of awards, that is the Teacher of the Year and the Principal of the Year.
During the ethnic massacre in the 1980s.
The nominees in each of the categories, which reached over 100 in the individual entries, were nominated by an online process by schools across India and were divided into 4 zones: North, South, East and West. These were then shortlisted by a jury comprising 3 experts in each zone.
The jury will essentially look at talking to all of them and looking at, picking the most valuable people that they would really identify for each of these awards.
To judge the entries in the categories, each zone had an eminent jury panel. In Delhi, the jury comprised Professor G.C. Upadhyay, an academician par excellence, and professor at the Center for Early Childhood Development and Research at Jamia Millia Islamia University. Kiran Karnik, a man who has donned many hats and is currently director on the Central Board of Directors of the Reserve Bank of India and former NASSCOM president. In Mumbai, the 3-member jury comprises of Priyanka Chaturvedi. She is a spokesperson for the All India Congress Committee, a presidium of the Indian National Congress Party of India. Saikat Datta, an incisive investigative journalist, he's also a winner of the National RTI Award for Investigative Journalism. Arvind Paranjape, he's the director of the Nehru Planetarium and was awarded the Astronomical Society of India Medal along with 2 colleagues for discovering an asteroid. In Kolkata, the jury comprises Gurbaksh Singh, a former field hockey player and a member of the team that won the gold for India at the 1964 Summer Olympics. Professor Shanta Datta, she is the Dean of Humanities and Social Sciences and head of the department at Presidency University. And Dr. Rajat Acharya, he is the Dean of the Arts Faculty at Jadavpur University. And in Chennai, Jnani Shankaran is a noted Tamil writer and has several books to his credit, such as Balloon, Maripadiyum, among others. Shekhar Dattari, he's a passionate wildlife filmmaker and he's got 2 national awards for his documentaries. And Pratibha Parthasarathy, a Carnatic musician and an entrepreneur.
It's very good that Educomp is trying to recognize teachers. I mean, we usually see these awards in other categories, but to see it in education is really nice.
Because many of us do a lot of things and we are not recognized when it comes to a large numbers being qualified. And it was difficult for us to get an opportunity to be recognized as the best. But here we are given some recognition based on the work that we do.
After the zonal round, where each jury panel in Delhi, Mumbai, Kolkata and Chennai will shortlist the entries, there will be a grand mega finale which will be held in the national capital, New Delhi. The most prestigious awards will be given away at the grand finale. The Principal of the Year and the Teacher of the Year, along with the national winners in the subcategories. Stay tuned for all the details in round 1 of these prestigious Educomp India Today Educational Excellence Awards.